Welcome to the Practicing Maker. Before going on to the matter, we as human beings are experiencing the hurly-burly of AI that demands to fit our concentration to challenges getting adaptability and profitable time from it. However, cognitive development in youth and adults is under scrutiny, mainly because there is no neuroscientific evidence yet, at least we haven't read it, on the impact on brain skills in people. In this podcast, we use our tools to come close to suffering, sorrow, pain, lamentation, grief, and despair. From mundane concepts, dozens of technical terms and substantial definitions crop up in contemporary specialized sciences and philosophy. So, on this occasion, we chose one of the recurrent appearances. Idleness, as a human activity, has been conveniently treated throughout the centuries by various authors, thinkers, religious figures, and scientists. Between them, Bertrand Russell in his Emprise of Idleness and Yoshida Kenkō in Essays on Idleness, one of the most studied works of medieval Japanese literature. The former, the British mathematician and philosopher who won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1950, wrote in favor of idleness in the science of political resistance to economic pressure. He stated, quote, "The wise use of leisure, it must be conceded, is a product of civilization and education. A man who has worked long hours all his life will be bored if he becomes suddenly idle. But without considerable amount of leisure, a man is cut off from many of the best things. There is no longer any reason why the bulk of the population should suffer this deprivation. Only a foolish asceticism, usually vicarious, makes us continue to insist on work in excessive quantities now that the need no longer exists." Unquote. The latter, the Japanese Buddhist monk and author, 1283-1350, took the issue from a dissimilar standpoint. He composed, quote, "It is an excellent thing to live modestly, shun luxury and wealth and not lust after fame and fortune. Rare has been the wise man who was rich. In China once there was a man by the name of Zhu Yu who owned nothing and even drank directly from his cupped hands. Seeing this, someone gave him a singing gourd to use as a cup. He hung it in a tree, but when he heard it singing in the wine one day he threw it away, annoyed by the noise it made, and went back to drinking his water from his hand. What a free, pure spirit!" Unquote. In the horizon of divesting human perception on what is unhealthy for us, each mind-body system has its inner peculiarities about how to extend their life. We, in brevity, will focus on idle chat, inspired by the major philosophical work, Being and Time, a revised edition of the Stamford translation, 2010, Sunny Press, by the prominent thinker Martin Heidegger. In this regard, he shut down. Quote, "The groundlessness of idle talk is no obstacle to its being public, but encourages it. Idle talk is the possibility of understanding everything without any previous appropriation of the matter. Idle talk already guards against the danger of getting stranded in such an appropriation. Idle talk, which everyone can snatch up, not only divests us of the task of genuine understanding, but develops an indifferent intelligibility for which nothing is closed off any longer. The fact that one has said something groundlessly and then passes it along in fatted retelling is sufficient to turn this closing around into a closing off. For what is said is initially always understood as saying, that is, as discovering. Thus, by its very nature, idle talk is a closing off, since it omits going back to the foundation of what is being talked about. This closing off is aggravated anew by the fact that idle talk, in which an understanding of what is being talked about is supposedly rich, holds any new questioning and discussion at a distance because it presumes it has understood, and in a peculiar way it suppresses them and holds them back. Unquote. One of the main problems of idle chat is the lack of definition of implemented words. In some cases, it is worse because, together with the formal hindrance, there is a reluctance to reflect on any issue. Those appearing to use it desire terms on the tip of the tongue, readily to shoot even when they do not require them. The fantasy of solidity understood as permanence, like something that will be perdurable for ages and times to come, has ensured the splendor of unsatisfactory things. The outrageous foreboding of materialistic perdurability, perhaps overestimated by the inherent capitalist property of selling goods, entrench the conviction that the inoculation of personal possessions in our daily lives will supply us peace of mind and infinite mental stability. As expected, the 8 billion inhabitants of the world do not look directly for this. Economics decisions took part in that legendary movement viewed with mental development, penetrating the essence of the complex humanity shunned by the shackles of consumerism beyond transcending, scandalizing the susceptibility to desist on the mutable property of reality. Threading the sequential implementation that everything under buying and selling will be great for us falls in disgrace as a well-attested place conceded by the facts. Typically exposed by the incapacity to recruit our volitional impulse to restore the analytical procedure on daily matters, we designate a delightful suspicion on intensifying compulsory offerings to the sophistication of vulgarity, as in the third millennium economy presents the propensity to prosperity. The burst and multiplicity of opinions on social networks about almost everything sculpts a fraternal foretaste of adequacy and healthy diagnosis in ignoring the benighted symptoms of self-complacency. It permits, though in principle nefarious for us, a non-derogatory treatment of the topic in auscultating ourselves, as people tend to convince themselves that any opportunistic satisfaction is better than the utter resoluteness of self-discipline and restriction. Human cavities for exploring deceptive minds have significantly increased. In conclusion, a deterioration of the postulation over the immediate enjoyment in the chase of gratification and recognition overrides the substantive effort from grimly framing the causes that genuinely produce it when it disappears. Also, crowd-posting fluently on social networks challenges statistics on how much they know about anything outside of their expertise field could be locked by the advent of AI. Therefore, critical thinking skills pop up causality about idleness and happiness. Thank you very much for joining us. We were with you. Script and voiceover, Juan Eduardo Reluz Machicote. Sound and image, Jessica Francesca Garcia. Direction, Griselida Reluz Chafloque. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found some valuable insights. Remember to stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop learning. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Cheers!